Hey everybody, Kenny here. This video I just want to go over the method I used for getting all of the awakenings in Oninaki. So first I'm going to go over the party build, then I'm going to explain the kind of loop I used. So first off, the party that I recommend using for this are a combination of Lusika, Gavad, Ragan, and Izana. The reason for these four specifically is that Lusika has a skill called Diabolical Insight, which increases the chance of awakening while you're manifested. Now, it doesn't have to be Lusika who is your main while you're doing this, but by having Lusika as the main, you also get access to Eternal Bloom, which makes it that if you are trying to get your awakening on multiple skills at the same time, then this makes it a lot easier because you can chain them together to kind of get the bonus from Diabolical Insight and from Eternal Bloom. However, I personally recommend that if you are going to attempt to do this, only focus on a single skill, because by trying to focus on multiple skills, you'll make it that you have to spend a lot more time farming than you would if you just spent time on a single skill. So regardless of who you choose as your main, like for Lusika, the way I did it was I focused on Divine Rumble, and I focused on Divine Rumble specifically because it was the only one of her skills that happened to roll a bunch of awakenings pretty early on, and the rest they just hardly ever got any awakenings. Yeah, that one never even got one. Never even got one. Got one. So she just, like, I just had really bad luck with getting awakenings for her skills. So since Divine Rumble happened to be the one that got the most, that was the one I focused on. But feel free to pick Gavad or Ragan or Izana as the one that you're kind of focusing on with this. The reason for Ragan being here is that he has both Wealth and Warden, which both essentially make it easier for you to stay up while you're doing this. Wealth increases healing while you're manifested, and Warden makes it that when you take a hit, you may recover some health. So he's good to have for just not having to worry about healing during the process. The reason for Izana is that she has Reverse, Oracle, and Enigma, which makes it that she can let whoever is the character that you're farming with, they're able to recover just by attacking, and they're able to restore the manifestation gauge. Which, once again, since we're using Lusika to make sure that you're always doing this while manifested, being able to keep the manifestation going as long as possible is a very good idea. And the reason for Gavad is not for his group sharing skills, it's actually for the utility that he plays when it comes to allowing this loop to continue going. Because Gavad has this skill here called Anointed, which makes it that your affinity increases when you're attacked while your shield is raised. And by combining that with Shade Stones that increase your affinity limit, such as Affinity Limit Break Plus and Vile Pen Me, you're able to keep your affinity bonuses as high as possible, in turn keeping your manifestation going as long as possible. Oh, and obviously for whoever it is that you're choosing to have as your farming demon, you want to make sure that their weapon is loaded with Awakening Chance. So obviously if you have Awakening Chance Plus or Awakening Chance Plus Plus, those would be better. But here I have Awaken Chance and Sinful Cinnamon, which also has Awaken Chance on it. Sinful Cinnamon is the big ape-like fallen that you'll find in some of the earlier areas. I think the earliest place where you find this guy is in the town ruins and in the lake area. So now I'll go over kind of the loop that I use. But this is something that I only recommend doing once you have gotten far enough in the game that you have access to the first pillar, because we want to be able to go to the third level of the third pillar. I'm sorry, the third level of the first pillar. Confusing to say, I know. And we want to go to, well, the one I always use is the kind of second one right here. I guess you could try to use the one right here. I always use the second one, but you could go to the third one also. Our Gavad already has his affinity all the way up, so I'm just going to manifest, put it away, and now he's back down to that level of affinity. So the way I do this, go into the Beyond and just block something. Hey there. Block, attack me. Come on. And there we go. Simple as that. When you have your affinity all the way up, then the area I recommend doing this in is over in the Greywind Deepwood. Go to the Eternal Garden, and I like to use the spot right up here. Now, obviously, we could use the, just do everything inside of the first pillar. But the reason I don't like to use the third pillar, I'm sorry, I keep calling it third pillar. The reason I don't like to use the first pillar is that the enemies inside of there can get kind of rough. And depending on which character you're using for this, they might it just might be a bad situation. So I prefer this area because it's kind of a safer spot to do this with, regardless of which character you want to use for your farming. Now, as I mentioned, I did mine with Lusaka. And so with Lusaka, the way I would do it, I'd manifest, rush out, throw the barrier down. The reason for throwing the barrier down to Lusaka is that it makes it that she can't be staggered from attacks. Like this punching kangaroo thing, it actually destroys the barrier when it does that big punch. But it's only when it does that big punch and doesn't always do that move. But like these flowers are actually the big thing to be worried about, because if they hit you with their kind of flower spit while you're manifested, then it'll just knock you. And if you get paralyzed, then it'll just knock you out of manifestation. Let's see if we can get that to happen. Because it's instant knockout of manifestation if they... There we go. See that? Get paralyzed, and now our manifestation's over. Now we'll go reset with Gavad and be right back. And we're back. So we're all fully charged again. So manifest up. Then just drop the skill that you want to... Oh, got paralyzed again. So as I was saying, we make sure to pay attention to all the flowers. Make sure that they're not spitting at you when you stop. And put down your barrier. And use your skill. Very important, once you have done this enough that you have unlocked the Hasten Awakening, then just make sure that that is always set, because that will make it that you're able to use the skill that you're trying to farm the Awakenings on as much as possible, which is very important. Like a big reason for using this method that I'm recommending is that once an awakening occurs, even if it's an awakening you've already had before, while the effect is up, you will not be able to trigger another awakening. Like you'll have to wait until that finishes. So the fastest way is just to go back to the nearest checkpoint and reset the area by fast traveling and exiting to the world map, then reloading the area. That's the fastest way to get everything back. And for that reason, I don't recommend trying to build two skills at the same time, or more than one skill at the same time, because you will end up wasting a lot of time trying to work on both. Got to awaken. And there we go. Got our awakening. It's one we already had, but like this is the quickest way to do it. You know, like you get your awakening, you exit out to the world map. You go reset your affinity at the first pillar, then head back to Eternal Garden and do it again. Once again, like the reason that I'm using that area, right there, we have like I kill all the enemies by that little pillar there. And if I don't get the awakening, then I run down towards this pillar here and I kill everything along the way there except for the spawner right here. I leave the spawner alone. I kill everything on the way there. If I haven't triggered the awakening, by the time I'm done killing everything in both realms in this spot, and then haven't triggered the awakening by killing everything by the pillar in this spot, then like at that point I'll run back to the spawner, and I'll start kind of trying to farm those the spawned enemies for a little bit until I get tired of that, and then I'll just if I don't get it within like a minute, then I'll just run back to the fast travel spot, exit out, reset the area. Exit out, reset my affinity, then go reset the area and try again. Because it's just not worth it to waste your time like trying to use the spawners. I picked that spot not because the spawner's there, but just because of like the fact that I can there's a lot of enemies here and here right by these pillars, and you can go from one to the next, and and there happens to be a spawner in between them, which is kind of convenient if you want to use that. But like I said, it's all about maximizing your time spent doing this, because if you're trying to just get the achievement and you're not trying to get all of the awakenings with every skill, then this will make it the quickest way possible for you to accomplish that. If you're trying to get it all the awakenings with every skill, once again, this is still probably the fastest way to do that, but then obviously you're going to want to be chaining skills together the whole time to get all of the awakenings with all your skills whenever you can, which is going to take a very long time to do because there's 8 skills per character and there are 10 characters, so that's going to take a very long time. Oh, and there's 18 total awakenings, so yeah. It's gonna be a very long time if your goal is to get every awakening with every character. I don't recommend doing that. I recommend going for the achievement and then calling it a day. Anyways, I hope that you found this guide useful for getting this annoying achievement out of the way. If it helped you out and you know anybody else who might be interested in this information, I appreciate you passing this video along, as well as doing all the YouTube stuff like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, Be Victus, Virus and Numeris, and bye.